Let's talk about employment practices. The objective of this section is to analyze how present employment practices are being used to counteract past abuses. Everyone who works for a living should have the opportunity to get a job for which he or she is qualified and to be rewarded on the basis of ability and performance. Although this is an important issue for society, over the years, this opportunity has been denied to members of various minority groups. A minority is a racial, religious, political, national, or other group regarded as different from the larger group of which it is a part, and that is often singled out for unfavorable treatment. The federal government responded to the outcry of minority groups during the 1960s and 1970s by passing a number of laws forbidding discrimination in the workplace. Now, more than 50 years after passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, abuses still exist. There is a disparity among income levels for whites, blacks, Hispanics, and Asians, as shown in Figure 2.3. Lower incomes and higher unemployment rates also affect Native Americans, disabled persons, and women. Responsible managers have instituted several programs to counteract the results of discrimination. An affirmative action program is a plan designed to increase the number of minority employees at all levels within an organization. Employers with federal contracts of more than $50,000 per year must have written affirmative action plans. The objective of such programs is to ensure that minorities are represented within the organization in approximately the same proportions as in the surrounding community. Affirmative action programs have been plagued by two problems. The first problem involves quotas. In the beginning, many firms pledged to recruit and hire a certain number of minority members by a specific date. To achieve this goal, they were forced to consider only minority applicants for job openings. However, the courts have ruled that such quotas are unconstitutional, even though their purpose is commendable. The second problem is that not all business people are in favor of affirmative action programs, although most such programs have been reasonably successful. Congress created and later strengthened the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, or EEOC, a government agency with the power to investigate complaints of employment discrimination and sue firms that practice it. The threat of legal action has persuaded some corporations to amend their hiring and promotional practices, but the discrepancy between men's and women's salaries still exists, as shown in Figure 2.4. Some firms have assumed the task of helping the hardcore unemployed, workers with little education or vocational training and a long history of unemployment. Such workers require training. This training can be expensive and time-consuming. Another hot-button issue in the workplace is addressing sexual harassment and other abusive behaviors. Bullying in the workplace is defined as work sabotage, verbal abuse, and/or abusive conduct that is threatening, humiliating, or intimidating. The stress of bullying can result in physical and mental health issues that can ultimately cost employers many hours of lost worker productivity, lower morale, and higher turnover. When bullying takes on sexual undertones, it becomes sexual harassment, defined as unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and other verbal or physical harassment of a physical nature. Sexual harassment is illegal. To create a workplace environment that stifles bullying, sexual harassment, and other abusive conduct, managers need to provide programs to foster more ethical conduct in the workplace.